We went to London and made 3 records when we put this as one of them.
The Christmas Time album was one of them.
And then we did a concert time, and then we did a record called I'll Fly Away, which was nominated as the Gospel Record of the Year. And but didn't have an idea that this wouldn't be commercial, but it never was. I mean, it never was like it would carry its way on the table because it was seasonal.
Yes, yes.
But on the other hand, now I'm 86 years old, and of all the records I ever made, and we made over 20 long play records over the years, probably Christmas Time I'm more proud of than any record I ever made.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, you know, that even though it wasn't a moneymaker, even though it wasn't something that people just would come and buy except seasonally, but it's endured. It's endured as a very enjoyable piece for a lot of people.
Christmas time, Christmas time. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. The glories of his righteousness and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy
I don't know. There was no particulars in recording it. I didn't sense anything much spatial going on. It was hard work in the studio with a big choir and orchestra, and you're kind of under the pressure of
Did they do
production.
the whole choir and the orchestra and everything all live
Yeah,
recording?
there was
once?
back then. There was some overdubbing, but the actual tracks that anyone hears was all in that studio.
Wow, wow. And did they record your part so that the choir would follow along, or did you record your
All
part
together.
after? It was yours was at the same time as
Yeah.
the choir?
We had a director, Paul Mickelson, who was in California at that time. Great organist and pianist. I chose between him and Ralph Carmichael because I thought he was a little more chord-wise. His production, his ideas were a little closer in comfort to me than what Ralph Carmichael was, because he was experimenting with a lot of.
It's a name I recognize, and I'm sure a
new
lot of other
things.
people do.
Yeah, but anyway, we had a great time. He and his wife Jo were over there. I was with him on 4 different records in London with the concert orchestra and choir.
Wow, wow. How many people were in the choir? How many was it?
I think it was 12. It wasn't a huge group, but all of them were extremely
had big
able.
voices.
They were able people.
They were able. And then the orchestra, like a 10-piece, 15?
More than that, probably 15 or 18 in the orchestra.
Wow. Well, the recordings are so they've stood the test of time. They're still just as relevant now in listening to it. Of any song from the season.
It is interesting in that all the message, and it seemed like now in worship music and praise music, is moved on, and yet there seems to be a lingering thing about Christmas music that doesn't shift so much. There's always the old ones that fit in real well. So that record is kind of now worn through 40 or more years.
True, and you know that there were a few other songs that were on the album that are not recognizable Christmas holiday traditional songs.
Right.
Where did those songs come from? Do you remember? Do they?
We worked it out with Paul Mickelson, and most of them were my choice originally, and then he added, I think, 2 or 3. He said, let's look at these, and I liked what he brought, so we did that.
So did you had an arranger, somebody who would put all the music together? Is that Paul? Is that
Paul Mickelson.
Mickelson did all that too?
He scored all the orchestra parts and the chorus parts, and he was very valuable.
Wow.
Of course, I paid him well for that.
Yes.
You could go to London then. The union there was about half what it was here, so overall, your trip and all was figured it out. You were still better off doing it there financially, and the quality you didn't suffer at all.
Now, was this a studio that would be known for other recordings that people might?
Well, for instance, the one time I was there, I followed Sammy Davis Jr. He was in the studio for 3 hours
prior to your session.
Before we were there, we talked to him a little bit.
Oh,
Just
how
a
cool.
little guy,
Yeah. This was the 60s? Early 70s?
It would have been in the late 60s or early 70s.
Okay, all right, yeah. And so, wow, that would have been pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, it was a great journey. We had a good journey.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay. presence, let gold and myrrh and frankincense. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of
Well, and lots of people remember you from The Victor,
Oh yeah,
from College
yeah.
Church.
Those were demanding days. The song I did in The Victor was about as demanding vocally and dramatically as anything I ever attempted. I had a great run at that.
And your
I loved
portrayal,
it.
you were Paul, or
It was Peter.
Peter, right? Okay.
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed because I had the temptation to go into opera way back when I was in college, and I said no, I can't fulfill my calling to be an evangelist and do that. But I always had the appreciation for dramatic music
Yes.
and acting in music. And when we did The Victor and I had that part, it gave me a chance to explore a little bit about Peter and to feel some of his remorse when he denied the Lord, this type of thing. It was a nice thing for me. I enjoyed that a
Wow,
lot.
wow. And so you traveled for how many years as a song evangelist?
I actually traveled 35 years
35 years. More than just the United States?
around the world, and then of course many times I was in Africa, South Africa, 4 different times for evangelism and crusade work in halls and places like that. And we went around the world. We sang in 36 countries over our time of singing. A lot of times I spent holidays in the Caribbean. When they didn't do revivals, I'd go do mission work. Philip, down in Puerto Rico, and it was Cuba, most all of the islands in South America, Barbados, British Guyana, and several countries. We were in British Guyana when the Civil War was on for the communists. The blacks and the Indians were fighting, and the Communist Party was strong, and it was pretty dangerous. We had guards all the time we were there because they were killing people without cause. They just were killing. So that was kind of like being in a war zone.
It helps you realize the message, the truth of what the message you carry and how important it is.
All of it a part of the journey,
Wow. Well,
Anyway.
many have been blessed over the years with your gifts and your willingness, your obedience.
He gets the glory. It was a
Yes.
good journey.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, I'm sure they will thank you as well. God bless you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, all weary soul rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night, holy night, oh, night divine. Truly He taught us to love one another. His law is love and His gospel is peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of at all.